Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tea and Crystals podcast. I am T.
And I'm Crystal.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are so happy to have you all back with us for another illustrious episode of this here podcast. Now, we have a lot going on for y'all today, and I am so excited to get into every single thing. However, before we get there, Crystal, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. It's been a good week. My mom and I watched the Reesa Teesa videos like completely through.
Oh my God. I am so happy to hear it.
But before we get into that, because I do wonder if we should have an episode-ish kind of about it. I'm not necessarily saying like we need to go through it like we did with Taking Care of Maya. But you know, because I feel like there's a lot of thoughts and opinions, and if we start now, it could go.
I will just say this, because I don't know if I need, because we're so far removed from it now,
right?
That I don't know if I want to dedicate the time to it, because I ain't got much to say,
right?
Only because Reesa Teesa did such a good job, Shout out to you, Reesa Teesa.
Yes.
Of going through every single point of the story. So there's nothing that I really need, because she's so self-aware that she kind of says what I'm thinking as she's going through the story. Yeah. If that makes sense.
No, yeah.
So for me, I really just want to hear what you think, honestly, because how did you feel overall? Cliff notes, how did you feel about it?
I'm just gonna sum it up in this phrase, and this is to Reesa Teesa herself, Miss Reesa Teesa.
Come close to the screen.
Reesa, I know, Reesa, right? Just
Reesa,
come here.
Hey girl, yeah, T here from the Tea and Crystals podcast. Just lean a little closer to the screen. Crystal really wants to talk to you real quick.
I have just a few things that I really, really, really wish for you. I really, really hope, because I know with the way this TikTok has gone viral, these TikToks since this series have gone viral, and the fact that you've just signed with one of the biggest talent agencies out there, and you're going on all these news stations and you're doing these interviews. I know you are making some money right now. I know you are. I really hope that with all of that, you get that blue BMW with the cognac interior. I hope you get the white BMW or white Audi or whatever it was he dangled in front of your face. I also hope, just to have it, you get the BMW that he claimed he had. I hope you get that beautiful $500,000 house in whatever neighborhood he was taking to. I hope you get that house. Whatever house it is.
By the end of it, there was that damn near $1 million house. So I hope you get that.
I hope you get whatever house in that price range. I hope you get it somewhere. I hope you get that trip to London, to Paris.
Oh.
I hope everything that he dangled in front of your face, I hope you get it. I pray you do. I know it's coming your way, and I hope you enjoy every bit of it, because you deserve it.
Yeah. Did you see? I think it was the CEO. I think the company's called Naturium or something like that. I actually have their face moisturizer, and I don't even remember the name.
Love them.
That she offered her a trip, I think to Paris or London. I think it was to Paris for her and a friend.
Really?
Did you see that?
I'm not surprised. Yeah. I love the Naturium product line. They're one of the very first skincare product lines that I started using skincare. Shout out to you if you want to give us a sponsor. But
because I just switched to y'all in December because my other one went out of business, which I am still heartbroken over. But however, it has done very well. I like a gel moisturizer, but this is more of like the, the masky kind of thick, creamy kind. And I didn't think I was gonna like it. I usually don't, but it's actually like once you apply it, it's really light. It don't make you oily, greasy looking or nothing like that.
Yeah, don't get me started on skincare. We can be here all day as well.
Right.
But yeah, I started like watching videos, because she started off by like almost critiquing like celebrity skincare and then giving her advice to them, before her line actually came out. But ever since her lines come out, like I've really enjoyed a lot of the things that she's put out.
Yeah.
So shout out to them. But
And
yeah,
that's the Asian lady, right? She's
mhm.
Asian.
Yes.
Okay. I want to make sure I was talking about the right person,
Yeah, yeah,
because she
yeah.
has some body washes that people like
Uh-huh.
are obsessed with. I haven't tried them because I'm a little, my shit a little sensitive. I can't be
Yeah.
just playing in anybody body wash.
Well,
So
that's the thing about her body washes. They tend to be like no scent to them. So they're
that's what I
very
like.
gentle on sensitive skin and stuff like that. It's promoted that way. But yes, I really love that line. I think it's a really good line. But
Okay.
yeah, that is my hope for Miss Reesa
Yeah.
Teesa going forward. I hope she gets everything that she's looking for, and I hope eventually she's able to find that best friend, you know, person you can joke with, and have a loving relationship with, eventually, because you're in a whole nother bracket now, girl. Whole nother bracket.
And and Risa is, when I saw the man that was behind the terrorist behind the terror of her life, I was like, Risa, you are so. Risa Teesa is pretty.
Uh-huh.
She is a very pretty woman,
Uh-huh.
and for her to be laid up with that goblin ghoul looking nigga, I can't call it. I was like, oh, this man must be like. I expected him to be, the warehouse worker build. Y'all out there know
Right,
what the
right,
warehouse
right, right.
worker build is. But I thought I ain't trying to say too much on him. Okay, I don't know the young man. However, for him to be that much of a terrorist in your life, I would have thought it would have been something else happening. But
And that is another discussion for another day, because I have thoughts on that. Well, but like I said, we would be here all day
yeah,
if I had to. That's why I
yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
maybe we
yeah,
should
yeah,
dedicate an episode to this.
yeah.
You guys let
Oh,
us know if you want to hear a dedicated episode about the Reesa Teesa stuff. If you don't want to sit through the
okay.
whole 50 series and you just want a quick summary and some thoughts, let us know in the comments,
Yeah,
and we'll
let us know.
hopefully decide that. Moving on, though, I do have something that I want to address. I did not tell
Mhm.
Timmy that I was going to be addressing this because I didn't want him to
Oh
tell me no.
God.
So
Okay, here we go.
here we go. Here we go. I'm going to give a little PSA. And this is not to the general audience. This is to one person in particular. And because
Oh.
your comments are not shown to the public, I feel comfortable calling you Miss. Excuse me, sir.
Oh
I'm
my God.
trying to have
I'm
a
sorry.
conversation.
Let me mute myself. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. I feel comfortable calling you Miss Sarah because nobody else is going to be able to find you. I just want to let you know something, because you have my co-host up in his feelings lately, and I don't like that very much. He has not been okay. So I'm gonna
I
address
am
something.
fucking weak right now. I am a weak right now. Oh my God.
Hush. I'm
Please
having a
continue.
conversation.
You
Thank
have
you.
the floor.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I would like to
Come on.
thank you. I want to thank you for your critiques, because we are a podcast that have been constantly telling our audience, let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you think, because we're always about evolving. I would like to
Mm-hmm.
thank you for your critiques, because I do think some of your critiques are valid, and and we are making changes. Excuse me, my conversation.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
We are making changes in hopes of rectifying some of the critiques you had. With that being said,
Mm-hmm.
there is a way to give criticism, and the way you went about it was not it.
Sure won't.
Because while there is a way to give criticism, what you did was more rude than critical.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not something that I'm okay with, because I have had to fight Timmy from blocking you. because I don't want to have to lose listeners, because it does sound like ultimately you seem to have listened to, if not the whole set of podcasts, the majority of it, based on the number of times you've commented in the so I am assuming, despite how your comments came off, that you enjoy something about the show, for you to have
You would
listened
think.
to over 26 hours worth of it.
Mhm.
But in the future, I just ask that if you do have more tips or helpful comments that you would like to give, perhaps you should word them differently, because I cannot guarantee
Mhm.
that if you send another one like the one you did,
Oh,
that you won't get
you can
blocked.
absolutely. Yeah, you're out of here, buddy. You're
Yes.
absolutely gone because you you better thank Crystal. You better thank Crystal that you are still here. Because if it was me, the only reason I ain't block you off a rip is because I knew Crystal was gonna say, "Oh, well, give them one more chance." So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep it cool. What's funny is Crystal and I had two conversations about this person because I saw the first comment and I wasn't even gonna tell Crystal because I
Mhm.
ain't like the way that I didn't like the comment at all, and I
Mhm.
felt like it was invalid.
Mhm.
And you type in all caps and stuff, you know,
Stop
it
yelling at
makes me
me.
hot at the collar. So I wasn't even gonna tell her, but Crystal said, "No, tell me." I told Crystal it was what it was. A little while later, I get another notification. You commented again. Now you said something about me that also to and as well I feel is invalid. I can take criticism. It's whatever. But it's the way you say it, and it's what you said at the end that I was like, oh, so you just playing in the comment section at this point. So
Mhm.
I had no idea Crystal was gonna say that, which is why I'm crying laughing because we had a I'm talking 2 minute conversation about it that it didn't even derive in that itself. It came from something else, and we
Mhm.
mentioned it because we are making some adjustments
Mhm.
um to how we record and everything else like that. So that's why it came up, and I had no idea Chris was gonna bring it on the podcast, which is why I was weak. Do y'all hear me? But that's all the time you finna get over here to Team Chris podcast.
Mhm.
This the oh shit, not out of muted myself. And listen, that's the Lord above trying to show you how quickly you about to be on mute. You understand me? This the first and last time that we finna do this.
Mhm.
Okay? And that go for the rest of y'all out there. Next thing y'all know, we finna be off the map for y'all. It's gonna be like we don't exist. Because I'm finding you on every platform and you're out of here, buddy.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yes.
Tread lightly. Y'all can come with your criticisms, your concerns, whatever else like that, your tips. We don't mind. Be careful in what you say and how you say it though.
Yeah.
And that is the only time that I'm finna say it.
Yes, because ultimately, when it comes down to it, it's just the way you went about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about it. So just be mindful of the way you're speaking, because we want you guys to continue to engage with us. We want to hear what your thoughts are, your opinions,
Mm-hmm.
and your criticisms. Just be kind about it. There is a way to do that. It's not hard.
Mm-hmm.
We won't take
You
offense
are
as
funny.
long as you're not being rude. Because you
You are
had my
funny,
friend
Crystal.
here upset, and I didn't
Mm.
like it. I didn't like it. Um,
Now, I don't want the girls thinking I was pouting. I was ready to fight. Okay, that's what she mean by upset. I was ready. I was ready on Crystal's behalf, and then I was damn sure ready
mhm.
on my behalf.
Right.
Crystal is the one that talks me off the ledge. So y'all,
Yes.
y'all got it. Yeah.
Because when it came to my criticism, but because when he read it to me, I didn't know it was in all caps. Like I did eventually see it later, and then I was like, okay. But when he first read it to me, I was like, I don't understand what she's talking about. Let me go back and see. And so I went back and I understood what she thought she was hearing. So,
Mhm.
we are making adjustments about that, and I don't mind that criticism at all. It was just the way she went about it. Because once I saw the
No,
comment, then I was like, well, this is really rude.
it read totally different. That's why I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even going to say anything to you because of the way it was written. I was like, oh, this is out of pocket. Like
No,
this
yeah.
is
Like,
wild.
I don't mind the criticism, but yeah, it's definitely the way it comes off. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just my little PSA. So we're gonna move on.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And Miss Sarah, I hope, just be nicer. Cause
Yeah.
yeah, we like kindness here.
And continue
All
to
right.
listen. We love having you.
So rude now. Don't be rude back.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so we are moving on. I found this little BuzzFeed article that had a couple of funny tweets. So I wanted to read them. I'm calling this Fun Tea because it's funny.
Fun. I like that. I like that. I see what you did there. And I appreciate it.
I cracked myself up. I am
Fun
funny.
tea.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right. Well, you just wrote it. All right.
Nope. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. All right. So here.
Fun tea.
And also another PSA to any younger generations. It's never going to be X. It is Twitter. These are tweets.
Oh.
And that is all they're ever going to be referred to as. So sorry.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I
don't
can't
know why
change.
Elon played himself like that.
I can't. Okay. This person said, I don't know if I should say their handle because, I mean, they put it on there. Should I say their handle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead,
So this
handle shit. They put it on Twitter. It's the Wild Wild West over there. They know what they got themselves into.
Right. This tweet is from Official Gracie, at Official Gracie. She said, I haven't worn a trench coat since a random man in his 60s said to me, what are you looking for, detective? See, it's a
Oh. I was like, wait.
I'm sorry,
coat?
Gracie.
What they got to do with it?
He ruined
And
it.
you know what?
I'm sorry, Gracie. I was with you.
I got it. It was the second bounce for me. It was the second bounce.
Someone replied to that. He said, older generations know how to humble you quickly. You can go from feeling like one fashion icon to feeling silly from one sentence. She said, humbling. The way I felt insecure that day after that comment.
Imagine if you just got a crisp, like khaki trench coat, you think you got you a nice boot on, you think you clacking down the sidewalk, you think you about to do something, and then somebody just says, just faintly enough for you to hear, go gadget. I would crumble right there. I would fall to my knees. I would jump in the nearest gutter and just lie there until the rats came and took me away.
Someone replied. She said, I wore ripped jeans the other day. This older African man came to me and said part of my pants went missing. He rolled away laughing in his electric wheelchair.
It's something about that electric wheelchair that took me out. That was rude.
The last comment on here said, if bro cooked me, I would have done the same.
You ain't finna come at me about my damn trench coat.
This person, Nor the Virgo, he said, dudes will be like, you didn't deserve to be hurt like that. You deserve to be hurt like this.
You ain't lying. Mm-hmm. You ain't lying, because a man will sit there and play in your face. Ladies, just like Reesa Teesa, come closer to the screen. I'm about to give y'all some game. Men who are a little too eager to pick you up after somebody else has did you wrong, think of it like this. They are just resetting the pins after that nigga struck out in your life. I want you to hear that, okay? He's resetting the pins after that last man just struck out in your life, which means he's about to do the exact same thing. Don't let these eager men come and put the pieces together, because they will knock that house of cards right on down like the last one.
Well,
Okay.
someone followed it up and
Yeah.
they said, "You didn't deserve that disrespect. You deserve my disrespect."
You know what? They on one. Speaking
Uh,
of advice, can I interject here?
mhm.
Because I had an interaction on the Instagram over the past couple of days with a young lady who had commented on a story that you posted, and it was regarding a man who whose wife found his second phone and he was cheating on her using that second phone. And she inquired about a third part of the story. You had posted two parts of the story. She was inquiring about a third part. So I informed her that the episode had dropped the same day she made the comment. So go ahead and check it out. And she was nice enough to comment back today, and she said, "Definitely checked it out. T, you are giving the fellas some tips for a second there until you caught yourself." And I just want to say, your handle is K Looney. I love that name, K Looney. Shout out to you, K Looney, because you caught me, and I really was. I want to apologize to all the female listeners of the Teen Crystals podcast. If your man was in the background, if y'all was in the car together, and you just saw him just take his phone and go on the side like this and started moving some things around, I apologize. I really didn't mean to get that man that good advice. I mean, I really didn't mean to make it so much harder for you to find him cheating on you. I just wanted to say that from the bottom of my heart, and shout out to you, Kay Looney, for catching me, catching myself giving these men too good of advice.
Because you were wrong for that.
I
I'm
was.
so
and
glad someone else
I
called
do
you
agree.
out.
Yeah, because you called me out in the moment.
Mhm.
You and I had the realization at the same time, like, oh wait, this ain't what I'm supposed to be doing. But yes, thank you for that, Crystal. That was
You're
fun.
welcome. Good.
I'm gonna be thinking about that trench coat for the rest of the night. I hope because I got me a good trench coat in there that I'm actually about to get rid of because I want a new one. But now I'm like, should I not get a new trench coat? Crystal, I have something fun for you.
Uh-huh.
Would you like to know what it is?
I would.
It's one of our new favorite games, and that is Would You Rather. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a game where I give Crystal some Would You Rathers, and they will be getting increasingly more difficult as we move through each round. Crystal, are you ready to play?
I am.
Y'all, let's play Would You Rather. I would like y'all to play at home as well. Please, wherever you're listening, leave it in the comment section. Wherever you're watching, leave it in the comment section. I would love to know which you would rather. Crystal, number one. Would you rather be haunted by a ghost you can see or a ghost you can't see?
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Like, I feel like by not seeing them, there's like a fun little air of mystery.
Okay.
But then again, by seeing them, you're making a connection. You got a little friend, hopefully, unless they're mean.
You're assuming this is Casper the Friendly,
So,
and I don't know if that's the case. This could be a
right.
murderous ghost or the ghost that was in Scary Movie. Woo! Those of y'all who saw that movie, y'all, if you know, you know.
I think I'm gonna go with not seen then.
Hey, but I mean, in that case, it may be something you want to see.
But then if it's not and it's good, I don't want to know.
Oh,
I don't
and
know.
you know what? And you know what? That is I like the way you think. I like the way you think. Some things are better left unseen.
It's true.
Here we go to the next one. Would you rather lose all of the money you earned this year or lose all of the memories you've gained this year?
Oh, money, 100%, because it's been hardly any.
You did not have to play yourself like that.
I
Krista said,
have
take these 74 cents. Get out of my face.
I have said it multiple times. Hollywood went on strike and we have not recovered. So feel free to take that little bit of change.
Here's my PSA. Hollywood, get y'all shit together and hire my friend. Okay? Y'all are making me mad now. Get these productions back to where she's at and give her a damn job.
Look.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's finna be here before you know it. Next, would you rather, now these are getting more and more difficult. Strap yourself in, Crystal. Would you rather eat half a dozen live worms or be locked in a dark room with a tarantula for an hour? And I'm not talking warehouse size room. We're talking bathroom size room.
Tarantula, easy. Absolutely.
Tarantula?
Yeah. They're not bad.
I guess you ain't.
We about to, like I said, we tarantula, easy.
You're in the dark, Crystal.
That's okay.
Oh my God.
As soon as I find it, just gonna put it on my shoulder and let it do its thing. And we're just gonna chill. I'll sit down.
Oh, so you're not scared of spiders?
I am scared of spiders, but I've seen so many people handle the tarantulas as pets and stuff like that. I think I'd feel more comfortable doing that than trying to eat the worm. Nope. Ugh.
I'm so scared of spiders in elementary school. Another one of the classrooms had a pet tarantula, right? And it was a thing where different classes, I think we were in like the 3rd or 4th grade, got to go to see the tarantula in the room. I'm so scared of spiders that I begged my teachers to take me with them. I didn't even want to go in the room because I was so scared the tarantula was going to get out of the little, I think they call terrariums. I was so scared he was going to get out of there that I was like, I can't go. So then I had to go to the teacher's lounge with them and hang out with them while the kids went. Because I was like, ain't no way.
Now, if you had switched it up to cockroaches, I have this involuntary reaction when I see a cockroach. I'm like, I get shivers. I'm like, what? Look, I don't know what it is. It's just, that's what happens. But don't ask me to kill it because I will feel so bad.
Feel bad killing the cockroach?
Yes.
Cockroaches are the cockroaches of Earth. How do you feel about killing a cockroach?
I don't like to kill things, period.
You know what? We'll explore that another day. Because that's a whole well we could go down, child. Next. Would you rather fight a chicken to death every time you get into a car or fight an orangutan to death once a year, but you can use a sword?
So now I've got to kill something either multiple times a year or one thing a year.
You see how you set yourself up?
See, I feel like it's like a part of me wants to say chicken, but I don't want to have to do it that many times.
Girl, every time you get in the car.
But then orangutan, you know, they're so nice. They're so cute. You know?
Until they're not. Which is why they give you a sword.
I'm going to say chicken. We have a chicken every night for dinner. We have a chicken every night for dinner.
You would rather fight a chicken every day. If you got to get in the car
to go to
work at least twice a day.
I think at some point it'll just become like a quick grab, snap, and be done.
And you know what? But they finna claw you at least.
No, you didn't leave you did not give those parameters. We are going based off of what you originally said.
Chicken.
No. It's a quick snap and go.
As someone who has had pet chickens, girl, you are in for a world of hurt because they not finna just let you.
I am not denying it will be difficult in the beginning. But eventually, I think I would get a hang of it to the point where it's like, I know exactly what to do.
And it'll be systematic.
And it'll be
Quick
systematic.
snap in the neck. And
Yep.
okay. Last one. This is a would you rather, but it's worded a little differently. Okay, so follow along. If you were stranded on an island with no food, with your dog and your sibling, would you rather kill your dog to feed your sibling, or let your sibling die of hunger? Girl, I told you. Oh. The shade. The shade.
Depends on what time you're asking me. I mean, obviously, in a real life situation, I'd probably have to kill the dog. It would be very, very difficult because I love my dogs. But in the hypothetical situation, depends on when you're asking.
It depends on if it's raining or not. You know, if you got on your nerves or not. You know,
Depends on if he listened when we had an argument. You know, just didn't talk over me and. Yeah.
And then think of the upside. Then you get to keep the dog, tenderize him a little more by feeding him, and then kill him and eat him.
Right, because then I have to think about it. So if I don't kill the dog, that means the only thing left to eat
is yeah. I mean, but it could be more. Actually, it would be more to eat either way because anyway, we're not finna. We're not finna go down that road.
I think either way we're going with the dog, but
that's
just barely scraping by there.
Barely scraping by. Okay, Crystal, you have something for us today?
Yes, I do. Okay, so technically this was a 2-part story, but he summarizes within the first couple of sentences what the original story is about. So I'm just going to read this one part. It's really quick, really short.
Okay.
But this was in the Am I the Devil subreddit, which is very, very obviously very similar to an Am I the Asshole. But his title or whatever was saying, or I don't know if someone else wrote this title, but they put my fundamentalist Christian parents is telling my wife not to reconcile. So it says, my wife and I were married for 2 years. During that time, I had to open our marriage. My wife agreed, but kept acting jealous. This led to me filing for divorce. Throughout my 6 months separated, I gained a greater appreciation for my lovely wife. Modern day dating is disgusting, even if you date overseas. What? A lot of women will pretend to like you for money. It's honestly disgusting. I didn't have to worry about that with my wife because she makes around the same as me, slightly more. Last week, I realized the love we have is special and decided to attempt reconciliation. She agreed. Unfortunately, my Christian fundamentalist parents are trying to undermine me. They're trying to convince her not to go through with it. My parents even told her, we love our son, but he's not a good husband. I expected this from her parents, but my own parents, when I told my parents stop meddling in my relationship, they blocked me. I had to call using no caller ID to speak to my dad and mom. This is disgusting.
I am so lost at this one because I'm at a loss for words because you asked for this open marriage and then you got what you wanted. You got back out in the streets and saw that the streets are Gotham, right? The Joker is running rampant. Buildings are exploding left and right. People are getting held up, gunpoint. Like, it's hell on earth in them dating streets. You're like, hey, lady, I know we got a divorce, but can we, is there something, is there an undo button here? Like, can we just go back to how it was? And now your parents, as they rightfully should, are like, girl, no, you made your choice. Like, shout out to your parents because they're like, Stop playing with this lady life. You done already blindsided her by asking her for an open marriage. She actually went with it, which, girl, shout out to you, because ain't too many that would go with it. And then for you to get out there and realize, like, oh, this ain't what I thought it was gonna be. Like, the grass ain't greener on this side. The grass is dead. This
Right.
is this is you know this is not this is astroturf. This ain't even real grass over here. This shit is ghetto.
I'm just imagining that he got out there and he got that shocked Pikachu face that people refer to.
uh,
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
These
There's really people out here that operate like that.
I really want to dedicate an episode to this whole open marriage discussion thing because I have so many stories where men have either asked, bullied, gave an ultimatum to their wives saying they want or need this open marriage, and then once it happens, whoever it was they had in mind, whether it was they were already having an affair and they just needed a reason to bring that affair forward without getting in trouble, or if they had someone in mind or whatever, whenever it doesn't work out how they thought, and then the wife who was reluctant to do this decides to participate and suddenly starts getting all
Girl.
these dates. It is so funny to me to read the men come on the Reddit and cry about how it's not
Yeah.
fair. I consider this cheating. This is ridiculous. How do I close the marriage? Please help. I know it's my fault. Like,
Men, I want y'all to understand when y'all ask for these open marriages, 8 times out of 10, your wife is the hot one in the relationship. She finna be just fine. You are the freaky frog in the face that ain't finna find these women out here. You finna hook up with Susan from your job one time. Susan finna see that dang-a-lang ain't hitting on what it's supposed to hit on, and she finna leave you on red. And then you gonna try to crawl back to your wife. But your wife done found Tyrone. It's too late. Tyrone, Terrell, Tariq, Terrence, she done found him. He got your wife. He got his foot on the back of your wife's head, and he is tearing that thing down.
no.
Okay. Deshaun is running like a bull in a china shop through your wife, and you can't get her back. You can't get her back.
This is also the same vibe as the men who will go out there and be like, why is it that when I was married to my wife, she had gained weight, she never did her makeup, never did her hair, she looked sloppy, but then as soon as we get divorced, suddenly she's hitting the gym, she's losing weight, she looks great. Like, why couldn't she do that when we were married? And people have to sit there and be like, because of you.
Because you hit the reset button.
Because suddenly she doesn't have to deal with a child or another child in the relationship. She suddenly has time to do all the things that she wasn't able to do while in a relationship with you.
Yeah. She don't have to worry about your feelings no more. She is a free agent. Let me speak to y'all men out there. Here's a term you can understand. She's a free agent. Okay. Her contract is up, open. And there are plenty of men that's willing to cash in on her value, okay? Because you didn't see it. Don't be mad because others out here see the value in the woman that you had. Not saying that open relationships are a bad thing and open relationships can't work. If y'all are in agreement and y'all decide to do that, I haven't heard of many successful ones. However, there are some cases where they are successful and they do last. So this is not me hating on open relationships. I don't want y'all to get that misconstrued. However, a lot of these stories are men pushing it on these women out the blue, and these women have to adjust, and it usually ends in divorce. And then the men trying to crawl back to the women. That's all I'm gonna say.
And that's all I'm gonna say.
That was a good one, Crystal. I like that.
Good.
All right, y'all ready for the next one?
Uh-huh.
All right, I got an Am I the Asshole for y'all from the subreddit r/Am I the Asshole. And this one is entitled Am I the Asshole for blowing up on my husband's friend after her wife died? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Here we
Ooh.
go. My 36 female husband, 44 male, is close friends with a woman named Jenna. They've been friends for a long time before Ian and I got together, so I know her fairly well, but we really have nothing in common and we're not exactly friends. Jenna's wife, Laura, very sadly and somewhat suddenly passed away in March. She was terminally ill but responded to treatment very well and was expected to survive another 2 to 5 years. She's been leaning on Ian heavily for support, which I understand, but she's been at our house every single day since and sleeping in our guest room most nights because she doesn't want to be in her home alone, which would be okay, except she's getting more and more passive aggressive towards me and weirdly territorial of Ian. I've reminded myself that I don't think I could stand to see a happy couple for months if I lost Ian. And to be patient, it's not personal. My birthday was on Sunday. I got home Saturday after a morning out and Jenna was there. I was making small talk, and when I asked Ian what time he made dinner reservations for the next day, Jenna inserted herself right here and asked Ian if he was going to be out the next day, and he said yes. She started panicking and saying that he couldn't, and she wasn't ready to spend an evening alone. I was going to tell her she could still hang out here while we were gone, and she looked at me and said, "Don't you have any fucking friends to go with?" And I just blew the fuck up. Don't you have any fucking friends you can go bother? And so on. She called me selfish for monopolizing my husband, and I had enough and told her to get the fuck out of my house and not to come back ever. Ian had been trying to calm things down between us, but it spiraled out of control fast, and he ended up escorting Jenna out and telling her that he'd come visit her in a few days, but he was backing my decision because of how she spoke to me. I was happy for his support and still am, but it's been a few days and I just feel bad all around about it. I should have been more understanding of her, but I also feel like she should treat me more respectfully, and I'm not really sure if I overreacted. Am I the asshole? You gotta think about this one. Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't have to really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, no, you're not the asshole, because while I would be the same way in terms of allowing this person to come in, staying as long as they need. I can't imagine losing a spouse, you know. Like you said, I would also find it hard though to be around happy couples and stuff like that. But if that was helping her to be near her friend, I get it, but she was taking it too far. She was taking it too far. She was becoming way too dependent on him. At that point, she needs therapy. She doesn't It's not, because the fact that you can't have this man that is in no way obligated to be near you right now. The fact that you can't even have him let him go out for a few hours at night without you panicking, like there's something wrong there. I don't know what her full story is in regards to that, because it just feels like there's more to it. But yeah, I, the way you try to make, I don't know, like it was just not a healthy coping mechanism. Ultimately,
No.
is what it's getting down to. I understand feeling upset because she did go through this loss, and you're trying to feel understanding about it. I get that. So, to help clear your conscience, if you feel like you want to try to clear the air, you want to speak to her, you want to get to the root of it, maybe there is something she's not saying, maybe she's jealous that you get to keep your spouse and she got to lose hers. I don't know. Maybe it's not really you that she's upset with. Maybe that's something this conversation can reveal and can help you guys move forward. I'm all for it. Go for it. But in terms of feeling bad for how you reacted, like on the surface level of it, it's the way she reacted. Like, there was really no other way to react. And I commend your husband once again, because this is rare, for
Girl.
backing you, because that's his
Mm-hmm.
friend. So the fact that he was like, yeah, like, you're real disrespectful in the way you just spoke to my wife. I'm going to have to agree with her. You got to go. Knowing that his friend's hurting right now, I really commend him for that. And that should show, because if he's the kind of friend that I would think, that should show you really messed up. You really did something wrong. There's no one to blame here but yourself. This lady has been letting you stay there, lean on her husband, do whatever it is you need to do to not feel alone. And it's her birthday and she just wants a few hours with her husband. Like, that is her husband. That's her family time. This is not for friends if she doesn't want it to be. Yeah, I don't think you
Yeah.
handled the situation wrong, but I'm not going to say you're wrong for wanting to try to make some sort of amends or have some sort of conversation, because I probably feel the same way in some regards. I don't think I would feel guilty of how I reacted, but I would be like, you know what? It's been a few days. I've calmed down. Are you ready to have a conversation to figure out why you reacted the way you reacted? Um, but yeah, that's
I I am in agreement. Um, I think y'all can have a conversation and see, if you can kind of have a meeting of the minds to be like, okay, everybody got a little, like everybody got a little heated. I commend you for your patience with this lady staying at your house, because I don't know if I would have had the same amount of patience, you know, depending on how long you stand, because I'm like, okay, you paying rent at your house, but girl, like, what's you'd have just moved in here, like you had to come up off some bread or something, because
Mhm.
these groceries, I'm having to buy more groceries. You eating dinner with us every night, like what's going
Mhm.
on? I feel like I know you a lesbian or whatever, but I feel like I got somebody else in my marriage. Like, I can't be having that. Y'all slapping fives and throwing elbows at the damn dinner table,
Mhm.
and I'm the third wheel in my own house. I wouldn't be able to have that. Me personally, um, if I got to the point where I'm having to talk to somebody like that, then there's probably no reconciliation, because it's going to take a good while for me to get to that point where I feel like, because I feel like once a relationship reaches that point, it's the breaking point. There's nothing, there's no coming back from this. Like, this is the end. Once we get to hooping and hollering at each other, in that way. So I don't know if I personally, even after calming down, would be able to go back to the drawing board with this person and try to figure things out. But like Crystal alluded to, since this is your husband's friend and she has been in his life for such a long time and will probably continue to be, then it probably is smart to make some sort of amends and try to move forward with whatever remnants of a relationship that you can have, because you better than me, and you better than me.
All right. So
That
I guess
was
we will say that we are at least in agreement that, I mean, we're in agreement pretty much, but we're in agreement that you're not the
Yeah,
asshole.
yeah, not at all,
Okay.
not at all.
Well,
You got
thank you
one
for
more for us,
that.
Crystal?
I do.
Oh, no problem, anytime.
I just realized you always thank me and I never thank you. And I know people are probably like, dang, like, Crystal not
Uh,
appreciate your input either.
no, they probably like, why is he thanking her? Isn't that the whole point of the show? No. Oh, yeah.
We got two different audiences
That's
here.
what it
We
would
don't
be.
know.
Yeah, my audience is cynical. Yours is,
We're just covering
yours
all the
is
bases.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
All right. So this is the last one. This is also from Am I the Asshole? This says, am I the asshole for leaving my own wedding because my husband embarrassed me? This is a
No.
long one.
Okay, strap in.
7. This is a long one. Okay. I, female 27, and my husband, male 29, have been together for 3 years. In those 3 years, I have never known him to be selfish. Occasionally immature, yes, but even that was rare. These problems arose when those stupid cake smashing videos got popular, and my husband thought they were hilarious. I've never thought they were funny, and he knows that. Yet he was always showing me the videos of those poor wives getting the happiest day of their life ruined by their asshole partners for some cheap laughs. He also knows I have a history with cake smashing. My family does the cake smashing thing. I remember it was my 17th birthday and I pleaded with my mom to not do it. She promised and I trusted her. I had my hair and makeup done up all nice, and right as I blew out my candles, my mom pushed my head into the cake and one of the decorations on the cake ended up slicing my forehead. Not enough to go to the hospital, but enough for some substantial bleeding. My birthday was ruined, and after I wouldn't come out of my room. My mom still calls me a brat for that. I told him if he ever did something like that to me, I'd leave him. He started laughing, but I was being for real, though he really was not taking me seriously. I told him if he, oh, sorry, though he really was not taking me seriously. Now, skip to a few days ago when my wedding happened. Everything was perfect. I was happy. He was happy. I was excited for our new lives as newlyweds. I felt like a princess in my poofy white dress and done up hair with perfect makeup. All very expensive things I would like to mention. We get to the cake cutting part, and as I turn to him, he scoops up a huge chunk of our wedding cake and smashes it all over my face. Everything just seemed to go in slow motion for a few moments. He's just laughing at me and then says, "You should see your face." He continues to laugh. Other people in the crowd, mostly my family, is also laughing at me. Then I just start walking away. He realizes that I'm leaving and tries to catch up with me and says I'm being extra. I push him away and order an Uber. As I get outside, most of the crowd is following me, telling me to come back. I get into the Uber and drive away. I drove to our apartment and packed most of my things and went to stay at a hotel. I am currently staying at a friend's house though. My family and his family has been blowing up my phone for days, saying I'm being childish and my husband is a good man and it was just a joke. My husband has been calling me off the hook and telling me to please come home and that he wants to talk. That he's sorry and didn't think I'd get that emotional. There was supposed to be this was supposed to be the happiest day of our lives, and he embarrassed me in front of everyone for some prank that he knew I hated. Not only that, he ruined a $500 cake. He ruined my makeup, my hair, and the top of my dress. The cake got all over. Though I still do love him, I'm wondering if I was really too hard on him, and that seems to be everyone else's opinion. So, am I the asshole?
I will say this, right? Oh God. Cause I feel like if I were in this situation, I would have done the same exact thing in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
People who know me well know that I have done similar things in the moment. Because if I communicate something to you, I'm not gonna let myself be in an uncomfortable situation, especially if I've told you beforehand that that's something that makes me uncomfortable or something that I don't want to participate in. And if you just disregard what I say and my feelings, then I'm just gonna remove myself from the situation and maybe even your life. To be quite frank, because I don't play like that, because that comes into a whole trust thing. Now I can't trust you because I've communicated to you, I've confided in you, and you know exactly what's going to happen if you do this thing. And for you to disregard that means that I can't trust you. If I give you something, if I give you something that I think that you should hold near and dear and consider, when you think about me and you just throw it out of the window, you will never get anything else from me. And that may just be our friendship, relationship, marriage, whatever. I do think, however, you are a little dramatic because in the grand scheme of things, this is not. I understand there's a bit of hurt because I'm gonna call it trauma because girl, it ain't that serious. There's a bit of hurt that lingers there from, when you got your forehead cut open, whatever. Um, when you were younger. I understand that's a thing. You were really embarrassed, blah, 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 blah. And for some reason, you have held on to that into your adulthood. Um, because I too think that cake smashing, I really don't like when they be putting, the little kids' heads and pushing them into the cakes and stuff. I hate that personally. Uh, I cannot stand it. Um, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. It's a moment thing. You a little embarrassed. We're gonna keep it moving. For him to do that on your wedding day, knowing that you communicated to him that he shouldn't do it, I don't think you're childish for leaving necessarily. But at the same time, I do think you're childish for leaving, if that makes sense. Like, in my head, I'm like, I would do the same thing. But when you really think about it, all the time that was put into it, all the people that came, if people came from out of town, and then you for just to just dish everything there is a little immature in my opinion. But overall, I don't think you were wrong because, if that's your boundary, then you have every right to exercise, the consequences of somebody overstepping your boundary. So overall, I don't think you're in the wrong for that.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, I've said it in the past and I'll say it again. You don't get to decide what's funny to somebody else. If she has told you multiple times that she does not want this to happen, don't do it. Don't do it. It's as simple as that. I mean, you might find it superficial, but for girls especially, it's some of this stuff is really important to us. So getting our hair done, having this beautiful dress having this beautiful dress, having this special moment. There are people who are perfectly happy to do the cake smashing thing. They find it funny. She was not the one. She was not the one. And you completely ignored and disrespected her boundaries that she put forth and made her feel humiliated in front of everybody. And the fact that she's had a past humiliation with her family doing this to her on one of her birthdays, I'm assuming she has mentioned this to you. So the fact that you ultimately recreated that for her, knowing how upset it made her before, why did you think that it was going to be any different now? Like, that's on you. I understand, like, if I was a guest, I might have also been like, girl, she's been a little extra. Like, okay, get over it.
Right.
But
because I think it's a little extra to hold on to that instance from her birthday, when she was 17. Like, why are you still holding on to that? I understand it was embarrassing in the moment, and there's plenty of things I think back on when I was younger and I cringe, but I
think
just don't see how.
To me, it seems more it was the act of betrayal itself, because she had specifically told her mom multiple times, please don't do this to me. Please don't do it to me. I don't want this to happen. And then she thinks she's having this great moment. Everything is perfect. And then it happens. And now everyone's laughing at her. I think it was the betrayal itself, not necessarily the act, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It all bleeds into the trust thing.
Yeah, and that's what it was. It's the trust thing. You trusted someone not to do this to you, and they still did it for their own enjoyment because they thought it was going to be funny because they wanted to do it. So I get it. It's not the cake. It's the fact that I told someone like my mother, please don't do this to me, and she still did it to me for laughs and giggles. I can't say I wouldn't have reacted the same and not wanting to participate in anything else. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm no longer feeling happy. I'm no longer feeling adored and loved and excited for this moment. Like, you've ruined it. You've ruined this moment for me. Thanks. So I don't want to put on a pretend happy smile. And I'm sure she felt the same way. She did give an update, a little bit of an update. It's just a bunch of questions, but ultimately, I'm not going to read it all. But ultimately, what it came down to was she took a look at her relationship as a whole and realized there was actually a lot of red flags in the relationship concerning him that she had been overlooking, and ultimately she
Yeah.
decided to leave him.
That's what it sounds like. Cause I was like, well, how did y'all get to that point?
Mm-hmm.
You know, cause it sounded like he was letting you know when you told him up front that he won't listening to you. And I'm
Yeah.
like, how did you think that was gonna go any other way? Like, he didn't give a damn about how
Yeah.
you felt about it. He wanted to do it. Um, and I hate that y'all made it to, going down the aisle and marrying each
Mm-hmm.
other before you realized that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm really like, how did people make it that far
Yeah.
before they realize, like, oh, I don't like this person.
Right.
I don't like what they do. I don't like how they make me feel. I don't like how they treat me. It's like, how do you get caught up in that? We've had the conversation of my disconnect from, the
Yeah.
whole wedding ceremony, all that different stuff. It's,
Mm-hmm.
if I don't like you, we not finna do it.
Yeah.
If I don't like you, we not finna be around each other. So ain't no way we finna go down the aisle. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah. I'll read
Because
this
there's a
little.
lot of red flag. Oh, go ahead.
No, you're good. I'll read this little snippet that she wrote from the update. She
Mhm.
basically says, after speaking about it with my friends, she said that he definitely had a lot of red flags, and she even told me I should stay away from him, from dating until I get some help, because I was obviously not seeing the red flags right in front of me. I'm not going to go into it, but sometimes I'd have to cook second dinners for my ex because he didn't like everything I made. His mom apparently didn't get him used to vegetables, so he won't eat them, or making fun of my cramps on my period. That's just some of the things I'm referring to when I said he was immature. Uh,
That's
yeah.
You had a grown man in your house that wouldn't eat vegetables because his mommy didn't get him used to it, and
Look,
you decided. See, now this is when I get in the
children.
danger zone
This is
of
what we
victim
talking about.
blaming. This
Children.
is when I get in the danger zone
That's how we talk about
because
men acting like children.
he was acting like a child. But how did you let that? If you ladies, if you go on a date with a man and y'all go out to dinner, one of the first 5 dates, y'all go out to dinner, and he order a plate that has vegetables on it, and he don't touch not name one of them vegetables, consider that the last date. Consider that the last date because don't I know you're not about to defend non-vegetable eaters. I know that's not what you about to do, Crystal.
I will say this because this is from me. I
Mm,
don't really like restaurant vegetables. I think
girl,
I don't think they're cooked well enough. They're almost never seasoned correctly. Like,
it's salt and pepper on the table. What else you
yeah,
need?
garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, cheese. I like to season up my vegetables. I don't like
Girl,
just
she.
but 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 I
Mm,
also don't I like a lot of some of the vegetables like broccoli in particular. I don't like them really tough.
mm.
And I know a lot of
Now I
restaurants,
can get with that. Yeah.
they'll steam it a little bit, and when you're like biting it and it's like and I'm like,
Yeah, they blanch them.
and that's what
Mm-hmm.
most of restaurant vegetables are. It's broccoli.
And
Um
mm-hmm.
so that's the only reason why I'm like, I'm not saying completely with that because I'm not a big fan of restaurant vegetables. But when we get to that point where we're doing home cooked meals with each other and you won't touch a single
No,
vegetable,
no.
yes,
Crystal,
yes,
don't let the non-vegetable eating enemy into your home.
no.
This is how that lady ended up walking down the aisle
But I'm
because she
saying
said, "Oh, he
I
ain't
can
eat his
understand why
asparagus on his plate.
I can
He might eat it
understand
at
why
my
they might
house."
not eat the vegetables at the restaurant because I don't like the vegetables at the restaurant sometimes.
Girl, we are incompatible. If you leave
Yes.
them vegetables on that plate, we're incompatible. Because number one, speak up. Speak up. Say, if you know that you go to restaurants a lot and they'll be cooking the vegetables
Mhm.
like that. Excuse me, monsieur. Yeah. Hi. Those that broccoli that I ordered with my plate, Could you make sure that they steam them a little extra long? I
Mm-hmm.
really don't like crunchy vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. They come to the plate. You slicing right through them holes like butter. Problem solved. Eat them vegetables. Girl. You gonna sit in front of me with a sirloin steak and all you ate on the plate was the little bit of potatoes in that steak. You ain't eat that vegetable medley on the side. You can't come home with me. Absolutely not. Eat your vegetables.
If
Crystal, do
they're
you
good.
eat Brussels sprouts?
I've tried them. I don't dislike them. They're not my favorite. My favorite actually is broccoli. I really like broccoli. I really like green beans. I'm not a huge asparagus fan either. I don't really like asparagus.
I hate asparagus.
I'm not a big corn fan either.
Oh, I hate corn.
I like carrots, but I don't like cooked carrots. I like carrots when they're raw.
Oh, I like any form of carrot.
Yeah, I don't like them
oven
cooked.
roasted, steamed, raw.
I did say you mentioned some. And that will be the end of the Tea and Crystals podcast for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Wow. Damn. Okay.
Ultimately, what we're saying, we're not mad at you for ending this relationship.
We ain't mad at you. We ain't mad at you, girl. And women, make sure your man eat his vegetables. Thank you all so much for joining us for another illustrious episode of the Tea and Crystals podcast. If you like what you heard, please make sure that you leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening to our podcast. Make sure that you leave us a written review as well. We would love to know what you think, unless you're Sarah, in the comments section. It really, really helps us. If you like what you saw, make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe on YouTube. That is also very important. We be having whole conversations in the comment section over there. So make sure that you go over there and get to comment, and we do respond. We love going back and forth with you all over there. If you have any questions, comments, or you would like to share your own story with us, make sure that you do so at teaandcrystal@gmail.com. That is teaandcrystal@gmail.com. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook by searching Tea and Crystals Podcast. Follow us on TikTok at Tea and Crystals Podcast and on Instagram at Tea and Crystals Pod. Now, Crystal, is there anything else you want to say to these beautiful people before we get the hell up out of here?
Yes. I know that by the time this episode airs, it will probably be about 2 days before Easter. So I wish I had remembered that beforehand, because I would have loved to done a little dress up, put some bunny ears on or something, but I forgot about it. Next holiday, I swear. But in the meantime, I just want to wish you guys a very happy Easter. If you guys celebrate Easter, I hope you guys really enjoy it. You get to enjoy your Sunday, have some family time, do a little, Easter egg hunt with the kids. It's always a fun time. And yeah, just be safe. Thank you guys so much for
happy Easter, y'all.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. Happy Easter, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Sure will. Bye, y'all.